Okay guys, so I now have this part done, and I did a little bit more work to that circle there. I just didn't like the way it was looking, so I added some more of a darker red, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks now. But it's not enough, right? I've got the highlight, I have the shadow core, I have the reflected light, but now I have to do something with the shadow down here. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make a new layer, which I'm going to bring up on top, although actually I could put it below. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it's below. I got an idea here. This should be easy. And if I come in with the circle again, and I'm going to go ahead and make it this shape, right, of the shadow. Now, it looks like when I draw, I'm going to be drawing on top of that circle, but remember, it's behind in my layer order the other circle. So if I come in here now, again with a brush, and I think I'm going to stick with the same type of brush I was using before, which looks like a pencil. I like that. And I don't know what size I'm going to use, but I think I'm going to change this to 100% opacity and increase the flow a little bit. And so see how when I do that, oops, I just realized I forgot to make it a selection. Okay, so what I'm going to do, grab that, go to select, and now it's selected. And until I hit the deselect, which does that, it unselects it, it'll stay selected. So again, select, and now that this is selected, when I come in again with the brush, see how I can just draw with abandon and it stays within that area. So I can kind of start with this and then take this and maybe decrease the flow, but also maybe loosen up the color a little bit there and maybe make it just a little bit more of a lighter color. So it's just sort of, see, I'm kind of creating sort of a gradient as I go. Maybe make it a little bit whiter there. There we go. See? So there's still a shadow, but there's like a shadow core underneath. And if I want to, I can go back maybe with a really dark blue and sort of darken that in. Yeah, that looks great. Nice dark shadow there. Okay. And now that I have that, little trick to show you guys. Let's go to more. Invert selection. Aha. Okay, what did that do? Well, what an invert selection does is it says that everything that wasn't selected is now selected. So let me show you how cool this is. I'm going to just go ahead and say, let's make the table have a surface. I'm going to just choose this color brown, and when I start drawing on the table, see that? It just draws on everywhere but the surface. And I'm actually, just to make this layer invisible for a second, I'm actually drawing on top of the table too, where this is. Yeah, I can't draw on a hidden layer, but that's okay. So I can kind of see where the table's going to be. And so I'm actually drawing all over here, and I don't have the patience for this. I'm going to make my brush bigger. Just give it all one big kind of value here. I'm surprised I can't make this bigger. But when I bring this back in, see, no problem. So I'm just going to keep kind of adding to that and making that work. But when I hit deselect, and then at some point if I hit this worksheet for a second just to get rid of the lines, you can see it's starting to look a lot better without all those lines. And I might want to soften this up a little bit. Now that I have it deselected, maybe I am going to go in now with a little bit more of like that brush again. And just in case, I'm going to put this on another layer, and I'll put it underneath this one, and I'll just kind of soften up those edges around the shadow and maybe underneath too, because obviously the shadow is going to be blending in with the table as well. So it doesn't really make sense to not do this. But that's looking pretty cool. And at some point, of course, I'm going to come back and add a dark color to the background as well. So maybe that's just going to be, I'm going to be all dramatic here, make this like a dark purple, and maybe I'll get a slightly different brush as well. So many choices, don't know what to do. Let's try charcoal, vine charcoal, and nice big brush. good. I can go big with this. Aha, there we are. That's what I'm talking about. There we are. And then just very quickly sort of darken in the background and make that look a little bit more, I don't know, polished. Obviously I can go back and work on this some more, but you get the idea. It's looking pretty good.